Oh hey guys, so I had just woke up. I literally have just gotten out of bed and I thought today's the day I'm not going to put off the video about Huntington's disease that I have so clearly put off for the entire month of May. I mean, there were other circumstances that played into that. However, it is my own fault. I didn't get a video posted in time to talk about Huntington's during Huntington's Disease Awareness Month, and I apologize for that. But I've got one now, and I'm right out of bed, so I should be totally on cue here when I get going about this disease. So, as many of you know, it's an inherited brain disorder. It runs in families, and any child of a parent who has Huntington's has a 50-50 chance of inheriting the disease as well. So the progression through generations there is either fast or slow, depending on your CAG repeat number. And if it comes from your mom, it's gonna increase slower over time. But if your dad is passing the Huntington's gene down the line, it actually can repeat a lot quicker. Like the repeats can actually, it just goes faster. It's actually kind of scary. Now on my side, I wanted to do a video that kind of explained to you my stuff, my situation, why I wanted to run this campaign and a fundraiser and raise awareness for Huntington's disease, basically because it has affected me since the day I was born. Not to be dramatic sounding, not to be like, oh my god, about it, but I was living with my grandparents when we grew up, and, my parents moved us in to my grandparents' house to take care of them. That's what my mom did. She took care of her mom, who had Huntington's, for as long as she could possibly do it. So I was always around someone with Huntington's in the later stages. And as a child, you kind of feel like, I'm going to be Superman. I am going to master living forever. You feel invincible. You feel like nothing is going to stop you. That was me anyway. Maybe I'm just a stubborn SOB. So, I've always been around it. And even when she went to the nursing home, I visited her as much as I could, usually on a weekly basis with my mom and my grandfather. And, time goes by, we flash forward to So 2008 is when I basically looked at my mom and said, I want to know if I have Huntington's disease or not. I want to know if the gene has carried on to the next generation. So we went in, and my mom, myself, and my cousin, we all did the genetic testing at the same time. And long story short, my mom tested positive. I tested positive. My CAG repeat number is 41. And basically what that meant for me, that was my reason to not have a family, to not have children. Yeah. You see one here. Let me get to that. So basically what happened was I got into a serious relationship with my now husband, and as this genetic testing took place, I made a decision with myself not to have kids, not to be irresponsible and pass on such a stupid disease. And he looked at me as we grew as people and in our relationship, and he's like, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we still have kids? Because there's so many children born with cancer or Down syndrome or, missing limbs. There's always something. He said, nobody's perfect. And he convinced me that giving a kid a quality of life for maybe 50 years is better than no life at all. So long story short, that is how we decided to still have kids after having the genetic testing done. And that's why we have Isabel, who's now 4.5 years old. I know some people, even doctors, kind of look at you like, why did you have children? Because you have this disease that could hit at any time. And, I've gotten the looks, I have gotten the, are you crazy? I've gotten the judgment, I guess, that goes along with knowing your genetic testing. And you know, I was young enough that it just didn't faze me, I guess. It's not a big deal, but it was there. It's always been there. It's still there. The judgment. And then my guilt that I carry as a parent, knowing full well that I do have this disease and I potentially have passed it on to another generation. When I was pregnant, we were going to get her tested while still in the womb. However, there was a 20% of miscarriage, and my husband and I, regardless of the results, were not going to have an abortion, so we opted out of knowing. So I don't know if my kid has the Huntington's gene or not, and it kind of kills me every day a little bit because I carry guilt, I carry frustration, I carry a lot. Just as a person in general, finding out that you're going to have Huntington's, that your mom has Huntington's, that your grandmother had Huntington's, and then when you become a parent and you're like, oh crap, how my kid could have Huntington's, you kind of are pretty stressed a lot of the time. And unfortunately for us, what has been happening with me, I started to watch my mom go through early symptoms a few years ago, and I don't know how much she wants me to say online, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But so for me personally, I started to experience the very, very, very early stages of emotional and cognitive effects of the disease. And that's why I kind of am here with this video and explaining my story and why I did this, why I did that. And I'm in my pajamas, so, that just makes the video all the better. I just did not want to get dressed, get on with my day, and say I'll do this video later, because quite frankly, for a month and a half, I have not. So this is probably going to be an uncut version of me going off finally about this disease. And because I am in this kind of limbo area of my life, I'm 32 years old and my CAG repeat is 41. So basically at the time I was genetically tested, they kind of were like, yeah, you probably won't see any of the symptoms until later in life. And I'm like, okay with that. But the last couple of years have been different, complicated, rough. And let's talk about those mood swings. Let's not talk about those mood swings, but they're there. And I don't want to discuss them on a grand scale. If you want to discuss them further, or even the depression or anxiety or anything else that may go along with the early signs of the disease, message me. I'm not going to get into it too much right here, right now, because it would make the video way too long. And there's things like, the cognitive stuff. I was working a job that I wasn't familiar with, but I was trying to learn. And one day I legit couldn't remember how to make a spreadsheet. And at the time, I'm like, who doesn't know how to make a spreadsheet? I've been making spreadsheets for long enough. I just should have been able to do it, and I couldn't. And I got frustrated. Like, it wasn't a, whoops, just a bad day frustration. It was, my brain was like, no, you are not doing this. And all you're going to do is cry about it. That's what happened. And I hated it. So, anyway, basically, what I've been doing to try to be proactive about this disease is the fundraiser that is wrapping up like in the next couple of days after you see this video, because I want to get the donations that I have raised submitted to the Huntington's Society of Canada before the June deadline, because an anonymous donor has agreed to double dollar for dollar. So I want to get what I've raised, which is just over $700, and I want to donate that in the next couple of days. So that being said, what else have I been doing about raising awareness and trying to be proactive about this disease? So if you're here on my YouTube channel, check out some of the weird videos. You'll see the Huntington's challenges that I've been doing to try to raise money. I got slimed. I ran my first 5K, and after having a spinal lesion, that was an accomplishment. I got more than 10 pies in my face at once to help raise money. And, you know, you can see all those videos there. But behind the scenes, what else I'm doing is I'm currently taking part in the Enroll HD study or program that you can do. Basically, the study monitors people with Huntington's or at risk for Huntington's. They monitor like mood and behavior changes, memory, and all that stuff. Like they do tests, and basically they take a bit of your blood, they send it to Italy. So I can now say I've traveled abroad, and it's there in a lab, and they're doing some testing, I think, related to finding some markers or something. Don't quote me, but I'm going to put a little description below me right here, right now, about the Enroll program, because I am participating in it, and it just takes one day a year of my time to do this, and it's something that I can feel good about doing. So if you want more information about this program, the link is in the description box below. I highly suggest you check it out. Seriously, it's a good program. It's not going to benefit you specifically as a person, but it's going to help in the discovery and breakthroughs and learning more about Huntington's disease and what it's actually doing to people, because I think for the longest time a lot of the emotional and cognitive things were overlooked or wrote off as general anxiety or wrote off as depression or just something else. So basically what I've been trying to do is function. Functioning every day has become mentally challenging. So again, if that's something you want to talk about with me more, message me. I'm not going to go off on here about shitty days, which happen a lot, especially because I have tried every mood stabilizer that my Huntington's psychiatrist could recommend, and I had a reaction to every one of them. So helping the mood situation is currently on pause. It's been about a year, and we haven't done anything more about it. So that's fun. And anyway, long story short, I just wanted to put up this video to kind of start a talk about Huntington's here on my YouTube channel, and hopefully anyone who watches it will either comment or message me and we can keep on talking. And I hope you like this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, give me a big thumbs up, and comment below on anything that you need to comment on, or you want to get in touch with me, feel free to do that. And I'm just going to end this video because it's super long. But there's links in the description box to the Huntington Society of Canada, to the Edmonton chapter, and anything else you might freaking need. And if there's a topic that you want me to talk about more in depth, please comment as well, and I will do that. Today I'm all over the place. Like I said, I got up and I was just like, I'll do this video. I will just do it.